Land so beautiful and so secure. We have a lot of bodyguards and a lot of cops that are in the form of alligators. You don't have to pay them so much. But I wouldn't want to run through the Everglades for long. It will keep people where they're supposed to be.
Well, that was President Donald Trump having a good little chuckle with Florida governor and one-time presidential candidate Ron DeSantis and DHS Secretary Kristi Noem about the prospect of MAGA's latest cruelty against immigrants, a new state facility dubbed Alligator Alcatraz. The president stopped by the facility this week for a photo op with DeSantis, celebrating the detention site and suggesting it could be a model going forward for other similar facilities. Now, while the facility itself doesn't officially feature alligators or snakes, it will be surrounded by miles of marshland seething with reptiles. Days before Trump's visit, the Department of Homeland Security even promoted it from their official Twitter account with this image depicting alligators donning ice hats outside a detention facility with the caption, "Coming soon." And now some are even looking to profit off the new detention site, too, with the Florida GOP website selling Alligator Alcatraz merch, including shirts, hats, and beverage coolers. Now, on the surface, this may seem like simple, mean-spirited jokes, but it fits into a broader pattern that we've seen of the right engaging in the tongue-in-cheek, seemingly funny memification of violence. For many Americans of color, they look at these images and see an administration flirting with a specific racist and dehumanizing chapter in U.S. history. See these late 19th and early 20th century postcards depicting black children in the South as alligator bait, dangling in danger. Similar cartoons were produced after other real historical events like the brutal attacks on Native Americans and the race massacre in Tulsa. So while it's easy to dismiss all of this as Trump and his allies just trolling Democrats, these historical parallels are very real and impossible to ignore. Emma Vigeland and Natasha Alford are back here at the table with us. Emma, I'm curious what parallels you see here and what the purpose of this sort of meme generation and sort of viral apparatus around this administration's work, what the consequences are in the real world.
I mean, the consequences are deadly, as we're seeing. We just heard, and this was in CCOT, but this is the model that they're clearly trying to continue to build off of, the testimony in court that they never wanted anybody to hear. But thankfully, Chris Van Hollen went down there and the Supreme Court ruled the right way. And we were able to hear Kilmar Abrego Garcia's account of what happened to him, including that he was beaten all over his body, that he was encased in a cell, a pen, basically, with dozens of other men, that he was denied access to bathroom facilities and forced to soil himself, among other things. So this is the kind of sadistic stuff that the administration engages in, specifically in a racialized way, towards largely Latino migrants here. And I think we talked about this last time I was here, actually, but Trump builds off of this nihilism and engenders it in the public, where we are at levels of income and wealth inequality that we haven't seen since the beginning of the 20th century. And so that creates this oxygen for him to engage in even greater racist tropes and building that so people have a villain in their psyche. Now, these attitudes already existed, but he inflames it like this because I think he provides this sick sense of wish fulfillment for his supporters, where he said an anti-Semitic slur. It seemed pre-planned the other night at one of his rallies. And you could tell that was in his mind, that he was going to do that, because it's this cathartic release for some of his supporters that don't feel like they have any agency. And so when they see the big man go out there on the stage and say a racial slur or an anti-Semitic slur or what have you, they get to feel like that's me. There were quotes after he won from bankers on Wall Street, I think anonymous, obviously. I get to say the R word again. That's the material benefit that Trump supporters get out of this.
Here's my question about all of this. I understand why his base loves it. The people who already love him love this stuff. My question is, how does it land with regular Americans? Because, like, when I see these kinds of things, like the ASMR video where they had some immigrants in chains, just like sort of telling people to feast on this cruelty, this performative cruelty, it turns my stomach.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm just soft, but it also seems to turn the stomach of Joe Rogan, who is, supposedly an everyman, and he's now come out against some of these, really gross displays by ICE agents, snatching gardeners off the streets and potentially like beating people and committing violence. So my question is, I guess for you, Natasha, does this actually work for Trump beyond the base that really wants the red meat?
Well, Catherine, I think it's a slow numbing process, right? When you are just hit over the head with certain images again and again, what seems normal, what seems outrageous, the bar shifts. And so you need a contrast to families crying, devastated, being ripped apart. We're watching these videos on social media and it's disgusting. It's hitting the everyday person who's saying this is just flat out wrong. But if you give them a contrast, if you give people something to laugh at, if you start to see that others are laughing at that, what is normal shifts? This is a country, we have to watch our history, right? We talk about being careful about history repeating itself. A country where people used to dress up to go to picnics to watch lynchings and take postcards, just like those postcards that we saw. So if we can reach those lows, if this is the land that we live on still has the blood of those victims, right, as this is what came before, we have to be careful about things that are made light as a joke.
You make a really good point, because I remember back at the time when Ron DeSantis sent migrants to Martha's Vineyard. And I spoke to a Trump advisor who said, that's twisted. This is, really taking it too far. This was when they were, they were really fighting each other. And Ron DeSantis had his moment. He peaked a little way too early, but, right after that midterm election. And then cut to now. This is now what has basically healed the rift with Ron DeSantis and Donald Trump. I mean, what does that say about the tactics that are necessary to win over Trump in this era?
Well, some of it, right, is like every new outrage kind of makes you a little bit number, as Natasha just spelled out, and maybe a little bit more willing to accept or at least look another way at the next one. Because as you just pointed out, at one point it was an outrage to drag people from the between Texas and Mexico border and bring them up to Martha's Vineyard to what was for them the middle of nowhere. Now, I'm not so sure that would shock anybody. I mean, here in New York City, they did the same thing. And so it seems to me like it sort of builds on every single new piece of this and the strategy online. It creates this sort of building thing that has spiraled a bit out of control.
But on the other hand, yes, we have become inured to it. But on the other hand, if you look at the polling, Americans are more negative on Trump's immigration policies than they ever have been, right? So, again, this comes back to my question of, I get why his base supports it and people like me are disgusted, but what about everybody else out there?
Well, the problem is, what are they going to do about it? And by the time they realize it's unacceptable, well, they have already given away so much power. We'll be so far into authoritarian living as our everyday that people will be upset, but they won't be able to do anything.
Yeah, I think Trump is taking the lack of democracy that he's going to engage in for the rest of this administration as a given. And so if you recall, after the 2012 Mitt Romney loss, there was this big talk in the Republican Party. We've got to change our rhetoric on immigration. We've got to be softer and win back Latino voters. They did the opposite, and they ran to the base. And it's actually been effective for them, and they've won 2 presidential elections.
They've won more Latino.
By disavowing basically everything in that autopsy, but also have upped their appeals.
Yes.
Right. So this is to give a really silver lining to it. I mean, this is one of the darkest chapters in our history. There's no doubt about it. But perhaps Democrats could learn a lesson a little bit. If you deliver for your base, you can grow out from there as well.
If you deliver for your base. So that's a big if. Natasha Alford and Emma Vigeland, thank you so much for joining us.